orange scrubs for tomorrow.
Shoot. Hi. All right. I think tomorrow is Wear Orange Day. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
So good to see you.
You too. Sort of in person. Sorry.
So yes, it's much better over the phone. Can't wait till it's actually in person. All right.
Right. I just need to make sure my phone
I
is
actually texted Brian Kaplan yesterday. 3 years ago, I was recording something with him, and I popped it as a memory. So I texted him and said how great you are. So it was a fun connection.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was probably talking with him. Oh, I see my nurse Amber joined us. Hold on, let me get some water. She was teasing me because I have like water in a water bottle with like a. Sorry. What's happening? We'll wait a few minutes until we start asking questions. I saw the IG live that you did with Dr. Amy.
She's fantastic.
Oh my God, I love her so much. So my son, who's 8, always like talks about her and is like, says it like this. He's like, the egg whisper. And he's like so like melodramatic about it. I think it's funny. So.
And not many 8-year-olds know about egg whispers. So that.
He said the coolest part of you being a doctor is that I can use words like penis and vagina. And I was like, well, those are just body parts. Go for it.
Yeah, no, we were joking with my sister-in-law. She's having the birds and the bees conversation with her kids. I'm like, well, mine will be like, hey, when a man loves a woman, they go to the doctor. And there's some science and a petri dish and a surrogate involved. So,
well, funny story. So my 14-year-old, who I can't tell if she's on or not, but when she was younger, she thought all babies came from IVF. And I had to break it to her that not all babies come from IVF, that some babies come from
the very lucky ones.
Oh, somebody said my 4-year-old knows about the egg whisperer and sperm and eggs since I work at a sperm bank. See? Good to be informed. That is so good.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody also about the birds and bees conversation. Her daughter was asking, and she's like, well, when your dad gets home tonight, let's talk about it. And so at dinner time, she's like, okay, do you have your question? She's like, no, I asked Alexa.
Wonder what Alexa said.
I know.
So I see somebody said, Christina Meadow said, your daughter had my dad as a teacher last year. Yay, we love Mr. Meadow. In fact, I've had 2 kids who've had Mr. Meadow. He's fantastic. So you tell him hi. So we'll just wait a few more minutes for people to join us, and then we're going to talk about some awesome things. How is your National Infertility Awareness Week going?
Mine?
Yeah.
It was going really well. I did a podcast, did the IG Live with Dr. Amy on Monday, spoke with Hilariously Infertile yesterday.
Love her. Oh my gosh. If you guys do not follow Hilariously Infertile, she is like, sometimes I'm like, it's so true that it's so funny. Obviously she knows all the ins and outs of like, I don't know, all the things that make, and like, she makes it funny, even though it's so not funny.
And we talk mostly about skincare, but I'm like, having had just my sister-in-law be my surrogate. She was my sister-in-law. My brother-in-law was really funny because they live in Tucson and I live in LA. And so my sister-in-law would be out for dinner and people would come up and congratulate her on being pregnant. And they're like, oh, when's the due date? And her husband would be like, I don't know. It's not my kid. Just stuff like that. Funny. Yeah, this morning talked to Larkin McPhee. Larkin McPhee produced a documentary. It's being launched early May called Fighting for Fertility. And then tomorrow, I'm speaking with Stacey Colino. She's the co-author of the book Countdown. And then Thursday will actually be interesting because it's also Earth Day. So I'm speaking to my sister in the morning, who is my surrogate, talking about her experience. And then I'm actually doing a press event with an IG Live with Rachel Zoe and Tracy Anderson, talking about how they like our products. And then that evening, I'm actually doing a talk with Dr. Bojana Jankovic-Weatherly, who's on the board for EWG. So just kind of tying in fertility plus Earth Day, and then Friday talking to Resolve. So it's
awesome.
It's busy, but
Yeah.
How's your National Fertility Awareness
Oh,
Day?
good. We usually are it's usually a busy week for us. We do a lot of events and try to do a lot of advocacy and education. And obviously this year, as well as last year, it's much more virtual than in person, as it has been sometimes in years past. We've had like live events. Actually, I think we can get more people when we're doing virtual events. So I think that's great.
It's great. Just not fun.
Sarah, I want to, we can sort of get started talking about all the things. So for everyone who just joined us, this is Sarah Jensen. She is the co-founder of Hue and Grace. Can you tell us a little bit about your company and then your fertility journey?
Yeah, I think I'll start with the fertility journey because that's what led us to the company. But my husband and I, we've been married for almost 19 years, but we spent 14 of those years trying to get pregnant unsuccessfully, diagnosed with unexplained infertility. I went to top doctors across the country, altered everything in our lives from, I was a runner, marathon runner. I had to stop running. I stopped running because the doctor told me the running chicken doesn't lay the eggs. But I did acupuncture and, who knows, diets and yoga.
The things people say.
I know. But really, we tried to do everything possible to try to get pregnant. Never worked. During that time, besides dealing with the constant failure month after month, my skin was terrible. I was on these fertility treatments and my hormones were a mess. And so I had cystic acne and I had pregnancy mask and splotches all over my face. I just didn't feel comfortable. You pair it, and also I was moody. My poor husband, I would throw things at my husband. There were days I couldn't get off the couch. And then leading through one of my rounds of IVF, because I kept doing multiple rounds of IVF that never worked. The doctor during one round told me that I should avoid eating sweet potatoes because sweet potatoes can have an estrogenic effect and can alter your hormones. And that just kind of triggered something for us. We thought if sweet potatoes could alter our hormones, what else was out there? We started doing a lot of research and we learned about chemicals that are called hormone disrupting chemicals that are found in most personal care products and including clean and non-toxic products, which will lead us to the business part. But the amazing, incredible end to the story is my husband's sister volunteered to be our surrogate and gave birth to our son, Hugh. Then my sister volunteered to be our second surrogate and gave birth to our daughter, Grace. So we have our Hugh and Grace. They are amazing and incredible and exhausting. They're 2 and 3. But after having our kids and realizing that a lot of people really sacrifice to help us have our family, my husband and I looked at each other and said, we know a lot about a topic that's not widely discussed in the consumer space. Yeah. Doctors, scientists know about it. But what kind of solution could we create? What can we do that can actually help make an impact? And the more we learned about these hormone disrupting chemicals, when we first learned about it, we were only looking at it through our lens of infertility because that was just our entire focus. But then realizing that hormones impact more than reproduction. Hormones regulate your mood, your sleep, your weight, your ultimately your health as well. And so realizing that we wanted to create something that could actually have impact. And so when I was going through my fertility treatments, we would have all these hormone creams. And you think about it, what you put on your body gets in your body. Oh, yeah. The nicotine patch, you think that goes right in your bloodstream. And so we said, how can we actually make a meaningful impact and help people reduce their exposure to these chemicals? So we created hormone safe skincare. But they're called hormone safe, meaning they don't contain any hormone disrupting chemicals. But we want to have these luxurious benefits. People want to use I like really high-end skincare. I want to have products that I would want to use, that I would want my very product discerning friends here in LA would want to use. And so we said, how do we do this differently? How do we create products that and we were interviewing formulators. We went across the country and had amazing introductions to some of the top formulators in the world. But they had no clue how to formulate this way. And so, but we found a group that was 400 years of green chemistry experience and really went back and forth for over a year with them trying to make sure that the products, first of all, outperformed any other products in the market, and then also that they were, our product pillars are detox, repair, protect. So not only do we want to exclude stuff that can harm you, but also that have great benefits as well. So, and besides that, anti-aging, skin brightening, tighten pores, help So it's been a fun, and then also naming it and saying that there are things that, simple things, and there's hope that people can do to impact their health through skincare.
That is so amazing. And I love the fact that you guys took this, you know, difficult situation and sort of have decided to make lemonade out of it, if that makes sense, you know?
Well, I think especially for people like when I was going to doctors like you, when I was trying to do everything right, I just never even thought about skincare. You know, I was thinking about when do I have sex and when do I take my shots, and you know, I was thinking about what I was eating, but just for me, I don't even know why the realization didn't come in that, oh, what you, like I was putting on hormone creams. Why, what else I think that the other products I was putting in my body can impact me.
Well, and I think it's really important to realize that, because I think right now also there's a huge focus on what we're ingesting and sort of what's your diet like. And I'm all about that. I, you know, I developed a fertility nutrition program called Food Fuels Fertility. Check it out. There's a link, I think, on my bio on Instagram, which is all about like clean, you know, minimizing chemicals, whole foods, try to do as much organic as possible. And I think that, you know, there is becoming a bigger push to have sort of natural and sort of less chemicals. But it's also important to realize that some natural things can be hormone disruptors. And it's important to know that things that we take, not just medications and vitamins and food that we're like ingesting in our body, but also things that we use on our skin, on our hair, cleaning our homes, fumes, candles, all air fresheners, like
all those things I used to love.
the things that are in the air fresheners that go in your fabric softeners, like all of that stuff. Now, granted, you know, from a cleaning perspective, obviously we need chemicals that can kill bacteria and viruses such as COVID, of course. But I think that there's been starting to be a bigger awakening of things like, you don't think about shampoo as something that you need to think about being safe. But remember, like, yeah, it's touching your hair, but it's also touching your scalp, you know, face creams, you know, and all of the products, you know, that we put on our bodies, lotions, sunscreens, like all of that gets absorbed. I would love for you, I know you guys have 4 different products. I would love for you to walk us through sort of what those products are. And I know they're like for both genders.
They're gender neutral,
yeah,
and they're safe during pregnancy. They're safe for babies. They're safe during breastfeeding. And the whole concept behind this, because chemicals, they're everywhere and it can be very overwhelming. And so we said, how do we make an impact? So we actually purposely only launched with 4 products. Say, hey, look, here are 4 things that you can use every day that can help reduce your chemical exposure. And so we have a cleansing bar that helps. There's kaolin clay and adaptogen complex, and it helps detoxify your body and moisturizes as well, and safe for the entire family. We have a body oil. So I never realized that most lotions have hormone disrupting chemicals, and they're primarily water. And you think about it, they're mostly in plastic, because you can have a really great formulation and put it in plastic and it can leach. Yeah. And so all our packaging is in glass, except for the bar of soap. We have it in craft paper that is recyclable. We don't use recycled paper because those can have hormone disrupting chemicals in them. It's crazy when you go down this rabbit hole. Like you were mentioning, even natural products can be hormone disruptors, like lavender and tea tree oil. We stay away from those.
Even green tea, you know, green tea is supposed to have all these fantastic properties, but it can interfere with estrogen receptors also. And so I have some patients who say, well, when I go over caffeine consumption, and they say things like, oh, well, I'm only on some green tea. And they think it's very natural, and it is. And I'm sure it has lots of health benefits, but maybe not while you're trying to get pregnant.
Yes, totally agree. And so these products are all great for when you are trying to get pregnant or are pregnant. But the body oil, for me, I had never really loved body oil because it's always greasy for me. This is my favorite. Like I can put it on and I'm actually starting to wear jeans again. I have to put this caveat because I've only been wearing yoga pants for the past year.
Me too.
But you can put it on your legs and your pants will go right on. So it absorbs really quickly. It's my favorite. It's a lot of people's favorites, but body oil. And then we have 2 face serums. We have a morning face serum and a night face serum. And the best part of this, for the morning face serum, it has vitamin C, and it helps really brighten and anti-age. and it's effective enough where a lot of people are replacing our face serum with their face serum, their moisturizer, their eye cream, and a vitamin C serum. And so just with one product, I mean, but it's still light enough where if you want to still have your multi-step routine, you can incorporate it in your routine, or you could, like for me, I just use the face serum. You don't have to use anything else. And then we have a night serum, which is becoming the best seller. We had, it's fantastic. My husband's treat. We work together. He loves to cook, so he cooks dinner almost every night for us. And then what I do is we actually keep our night serum. We have one in the bathroom and then one by the bedroom where I put the night serum on him every night, and that's just kind of our ritual. And it's calming.
And it feels so
there
good.
you go. There's like that
facials and face massages. It's really relaxing.
It is, and it smells fantastic. There's no fragrance. We have a custom essential oil blend, but it really. We were actually featured in Birdie 2 weeks ago. Rachel Zoe, who loves our product, she, without us knowing, chose her favorite beauty product as this night serum. And everything is gender neutral and great and our packaging even. It's green. You'll see it soon. It's your product heading your way. But it's
to try it.
Yeah, but it's simple. We want everything to be simple, easy, luxurious. We kept our products are comparable to our products are all under $100, and if you buy products pack sets, you can get it for even a deeper discount. But our products are comparable to face serums that cost $300, $400, $500. And so we wanted to have.
And this week, you guys, for National Infertility Awareness Week, are giving 15% off. It's in my post, but I'll also put it in my story so that anyone who wants to can get some extra 5% or that, extra 15%
off with your name. You get a custom code, Rodgers 15.
Oh yeah, you know what? We need to put that on there. Yes. So also, any proceeds that come from that are going to be put towards the Chicago Coalition for Family Building, which used to be called the Life Foundation, for those of you who are, have been following it. And that is a nonprofit organization in Chicagoland that gives grants to patients struggling with infertility for gestational carriers and legal fees, IVF costs, egg donor stuff. I mean, all areas of even adoption fees. And it's been going for, I think this is the 6th year. And I'm on their boards. Like I'm not on their board, but I'm one of their reviewers for the grants. So I do some of the grant review, and I donate some of my time for them. And any of the proceeds that come from any of the sales are going to go right to Chicago Family Building, which is a fantastic Chicago organization. We've made such an impact, and we've had, I can't even remember how many babies to date, but I don't know, it's something like in the 20s from all of the grants that have come through. So it's a fantastic organization.
That's incredible.
Yes. So for somebody who's listening to this, who's like, oh my God, I'm trying to get pregnant and I'm freaking out because I have whatever store-bought shampoo and whatever store-bought face wash, what's some advice that you might be able to give them about small changes that they can make to what should they be looking for? Of course, besides buying Hue and Grace, what should they be looking to change, and sort of what's their first step in sort of trying to help have a, life with fewer hormone disruptors?
Yeah. So some simple, really easy things you can do is when you come in the house, take off your shoes. Take off your jacket. There's things in the environment that can be on your clothes. Use fragrance-free detergent on your clothes. There's several brands out there that I love, but you think about it, what you put on your skin is very important, but the clothes that you're wearing all day are important as well. It's try to look for packaging. I know it's sometimes time-consuming to read every label. So what you can buy in glass is great, and then all natural. It's hard because some even natural products do contain hormone disrupting chemicals, but if you can find something that's all natural that you love and that works well. The hard part with us when you're looking for stuff is a lot of the all natural products don't work as well. But that's also a good start. And then, there's, to eat organic, you can focus on certain things, what you eat. cleaning. The problem is you start going down this rabbit hole and you're like, oh, I should change everything. And there's so many things you can do better, but really small changes can make an impact. And I am not perfect. I still have, cleaning supplies I should probably throw away. We're on a startup salary budget, so we can't afford to throw away everything in our house. But I just really feel like, for me, my mentality, I'm like all or nothing. And so when I was an ultra marathoner, I would, run 70 miles a week, then I couldn't run and I was just eating donuts, so this economy, but really the small, simple changes can make an impact. We have somebody who actually mutually connected me with Dr. Amy and then with you, but she has a company called Million Marker, and they do chemical exposure testing. But she said the fastest way to lower your chemical exposure is through your skincare. So with that, even strengthen your skin, have products that really work well, protect, put on body oil, put on stuff on your face to help reduce the exposure. Another fascinating fact that I never knew is that the average woman puts on 168 chemicals. The average man puts on 85 chemicals a day. A day. So the average woman puts on 12 products a day. And you think about it, everything from like deodorant to sunscreen to even different hand soaps you use throughout the day. If you're in different sinks and different brands, you don't know what those chemicals are. Yep. And so for me, I've been a lot more mindful of saying, okay, I'm going to buy one soap for the entire house. And so really just thinking about like, what am I doing? What's my exposure? And then trying to just slowly eliminate. And then it's so funny to me. I'm in my 40s and my skin is better now than it was in my 20s and 30s.
I will say the same thing. Well, and I went through, a fertility journey myself in my early to mid 30s. And I don't know if it's that I'm like so old that I'm not having this horrible acne anymore.
You're done with your hormone treatments.
I'm done with my hormone treatments. Also, I feel like I'm also really trying to use, cleaner products and focusing on, using things that are going to sort of serve my body, both inside and outside.
No, and really when we were trying to figure out how to create these products and realizing that by putting a product on a shelf isn't really creating a solution. It's part of it, but that there needs to be awareness, there needs to be knowledge and education. So we have a peer-to-peer sales model where people can buy it online or people can actually sign up and sell our products and help promote our mission and products. And so that also reduces the price. It helps people get involved and earn extra income. Which has been really rewarding, especially during this time period where people need, with COVID, a lot of women have not been able to, or men, been able to go back to work and need additional income. So that's also been rewarding for us that we're helping people with our products and have a better, healthier, cleaner lives, but then also be able to get involved and help promote the brand and the mission.
Well, and I think that that's really important. There's so many women going through this, and I think there's so much that we know now that we didn't know not that long ago, 5, 10, 20 years ago. If you could give advice to somebody about when you're looking at a label, I think it's hard for us to sort of know what to be on the lookout for. Is there one thing you'd say, just stay away from this?
Phthalates, parabens, there's over 1,000 hormone disrupting chemicals. That's the part that's overwhelming. And so, right. So it's hard when looking at labels because first of all, you can't pronounce half the things that are in there. It's a good start if you can pronounce what's in the ingredient. I thought you were going to ask me about fertility, what advice I give for fertility.
That's coming up.
Oh, okay. So, so it's good if you can pronounce everything. It's good for looking for glass packaging, and then if they say all natural or organic, and then do what if you're I'll splurge a little bit on something if I know that my entire family can use it versus if something that's only for me.
Glass packaging is hard, right? Because I think that if you went to Target, do they have anything in glass packaging?
Not really.
Or Walgreens or something? I mean, that's hard. It's it would be hard to go to a regular store and get sort of maybe some of the stuff that you need, but you're right.
Yeah, aluminum cans are good. Yeah. But still it's difficult.
Everything's in plastic, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so on your drinkware, on your drinking where it says BPA free, but it probably in the bottles that your lotion's in, it's not going to say that.
No.
How about cosmetics? Any advice on cosmetics? Obviously, most of us wear lots
Makeup.
of cosmetics.
And so color cosmetics are really hard to do. So we're hormone safe. So we're like to the extreme of like safety and having measures. And so we will never go into, I shouldn't say never, but our roadmap is not to go into color cosmetics because there are chemicals. But my, and kind of my philosophy in life is if I can get a good start, if I can get a good base and strengthen my skin and know that the base layer is good, I will wear makeup and put stuff over. And so it's, you do the best you can, and for wherever that stage of life that is. I mean, there are plenty of people who live, every single cleanest, best product when it comes through beauty, through everything, but I kind of mindset, let's strengthen the skin, let's get you a good barrier, and then live your life. And not, even with fertility, like I would stress out so much. And sometimes the stress,
I was like,
and so if you start stressing about stuff, we'll just say, hey, I'm doing good today. These are things I'm making small changes, and they can have an impact.
So somebody asked a question. I don't know if it was for me or for you. It says, how did you know that you wanted to be in this career?
That's probably for you.
I don't know. We both can answer it, I guess. I will say that when I was in medical school, I was very, I just love learning about the pathophysiology of pregnancy. So how does somebody live inside someone else and what changes have to happen in your body, and sort of the embryology perspective. And I love solving problems, like complex problems. And so, the fact that it's a very procedural field where I get to do lots of procedures, but also get to do lots of sort of thinking and problem solving for patients, and is sort of what originally drew me to it. Of course, then after becoming a fertility doctor, I became a fertility patient. But I will tell you that there's nothing more important to me, and I'm sure you can say this as well, than my children. And the number one hat that I ever wear is always mom. It's the thing I'm most proud of. It doesn't matter how many, whatever numbers or letters are after my name or whatever, right? Like, being a mom is so important, and it's just such a joy and such an honor to help patients become parents that are otherwise struggling. So, I made the decision that I wanted to do sort of OBGYN with a focus in fertility in medical school. And then when I was a resident, I sort of it sealed the final path deal. So how about you?
So my prior career, I went to graduate school, and I worked for nonprofits or higher education. I was always into social entrepreneurship. And so I was working actually for University of Southern California, raising money for the business school. And I would work with our top alumni and parents in 25 states. And then after having our kids and looking at my career and saying, ultimately my job was to it was all philanthropic, but it was to make a wealthy university wealthier. And that we had a lot of knowledge, and we had a lot of relationships, so we could actually create something special. My husband laughs because he was running a family office and several businesses, and he's like, I would have never thought I'd be launching a skincare line with my wife. And skincare is our first vertical. We want to go into supplements and cleanses and stuff there, but more self-care. But it's something that, it shows us. We learned through a 14-year struggle a lot of things, and it's something
a long time.
It's amazing we're still married. It's amazing that we're still somewhat sane. No, but it's a long time, and I feel like it helped. Had we gotten pregnant right away, we would not be doing this business. We would be living a easier life, because to start a business during COVID with your husband with young kids is very challenging. Something we're so passionate about, and feel like we can really make a difference. So
tell me, do you have any advice to people who are sort of just starting out on the fertility journey?
So I look back at my fertility journey, and granted it was a very, 14 years is a long time, and it's not like that for everybody, hopefully not anybody, but I wish I was kinder to myself. I would put so much pressure and second guess every single thing I was doing. And did I not do that right? Did I not do it? Was it my fault that this month didn't work? And so I think the thing that helped my husband and I most was after, I think, 8 years of trying, he looked at me one day and he said, are we going to be parents, or are we only going to be parents of our biological children that you give birth to? And so we, thought about it. We said, we're going to be parents. And that just took off so much stress and so much anxiety, because it was the whole rush, every single month you're like thinking, my eggs are getting older, and so to have that, and granted, it took a while. Had you asked me that on day one, I would have been like, I'm going to be a parent to my biological child that I give birth to, but realizing that this is a decision, and then from there, it was a huge weight off our shoulders. And, it was interesting because I didn't even think about surrogacy. We started looking at adoption, but there are more options today to get pregnant between egg donors, sperm donors, surrogacy. There's just so many options. And so to have that mindset, so to be kind to myself and hope that, and just realize that timing, that there are options and that you have decisions to make.
Yeah, I think that's great. Any sort of final words of hope to those listening?
So we named the company after our kids, Hugh and Grace. We joke it sounds like a 90-year-old couple, but the name Hugh means heart, mind, and spirit, and the name Grace means goodness, generosity, and love. And those are the things that brought us our kids and the values of our company. But when the first 10 years of our fertility journey, we didn't tell anybody. My husband and I both come from very large families. We were ashamed and just depressed and embarrassed that we weren't pregnant. It wasn't until I told my sister-in-law, the first person I ever told in my family was my sister-in-law, that we were struggling. And she said, do you guys want kids? I said, we've been trying for 10 years. And that's when she volunteered to be our surrogate. And I thought she was kidding. I didn't take her seriously. And then she called me a week later and said, this is what I'm doing for you. And then through that whole process, it was incredible. It took her 3 tries to get pregnant, and she had to go through multiple surgeries. It wasn't easy. And then that was from my husband's sister. And then when we were finally into the second trimester, I called my family and said, hey, we're having a baby. Ben's sister is carrying it. And my family, I have 4 sisters. And my sister said, how come you never shared with me? And she said, I'm like, I was just it was so hard for me emotionally to even talk about it. And so she's the one who volunteered to be our second surrogate. And so opening up, and I can't say had I opened my mouth after 2 years or 5 years or, whatever that was, but I was just so, I hid it and kept it to myself. And I think that it would have been much easier had I talked about what I was going through. And also it's been such a blessing for me, because people know that I had to use a surrogate. So people would come to me to share their stories, whether it was fertility stories or a health issue or a relationship issue, but just by being vulnerable and being approachable and real, people can, I connected with people in ways I never thought I could.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me this evening. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your National Infertility Awareness Week. I think that, hopefully we spread lots of awareness and hope to people on the journey that they should never give up on their baby.
Agreed. And thank you for all you do. I admire so much what you do in your work. So thank you. As a former patient and someone on their side who has so much compassion for those going through it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, have a great night. Tomorrow night, I'll be talking with Donor Egg Bank USA, so stay tuned for that. Also, check out the 15% off Hugh and Grace. I'll be posting that soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.